serving his community. The owner of Mario's West Side Market says that this area used to be completely open so that customers could walk right in. But now they've created a barrier, forcing customers to walk out through the checkout lines.
We have security, and I've upped, hired some more.
Mario Berlanga, the owner of Mario's West Side Market, told Fox 5 he increased security in his store from 2 officers to 4.
I don't want to do that, because I don't want people coming in here thinking that I don't trust them.
Berlanga is like grocers nationwide who are now bracing for the unknown as SNAP benefits end for millions of Americans.
You got people walking in stores, putting things in their purse and things, getting by because they can't pay for the food that they want to eat.
And that's Berlanga's fear. He says the changes are
the federal workers and the whole entire government need to reopen. There are a lot of people who aren't affording groceries right now, not just people who get food stamps. And unfortunately, markets like Mario's, for example, in Las Vegas, have to do what they have to do. There are people that are stealing whether SNAP was cut off or not. So when things like this happen, and it's too much shoplifting going on and it's cutting too much in the bottom line of the retailer, then you end up with food deserts. So I think Mario's Market did the right thing by trying to curb the shoplifting. If this government doesn't open, it's going to get ugly out here.
To protect his employees' safety and the store's bottom line by redirecting shoppers to the checkout line.
I've been watching on the news and on Facebook and stuff where people just loading up baskets and then hitting the door. And it scares me, because this is my livelihood. This is where I feed my kids.
Data released from the Las Vegas Metro Police Department show that shoplifting cases are on the rise, up more than 12% from last year, the department says. From January 1st to October 26th, they've received 6,104 reports of shoplifting.
If it gets bad enough, they'll get desperate, and desperate people do desperate things.
Despite the uptick in crime, Berlanga says the market is one of the only places to get fresh.
Desperate people do desperate things. So, you got to have your head on the swivel, when you go to these stores out here, because there are people that are watching. They see that you've got money to go into the store to get something. So next thing you know, as you're putting your groceries in your car, you could find yourself in a tussle with someone that's trying to rob you. I don't make any excuses for absolutely any crime. I really don't. If you have food insecurity, hit up Google. There are plenty of local places that have pantries. Hit up these churches.
The administration now says it will partially fund SNAP food assistance. This comes as we rapidly approach the longest federal government shutdown in U.S. history. The White House.
They got money for walls, but can't feed
I
the
really don't
folks.
understand why we as Americans, and I know that Americans all aren't responsible for this shutdown. The people in Congress are. But as long as they can point fingers at red team, blue team, and we the people go for that, they're going to keep playing these Jedi mind tricks with the public. They're going to keep propagandizing everything. They're going to keep gaslighting. The Republicans have voted every time to open the government. The Democrats have voted every time to not open the government. There were protests a few weeks ago where they marched all around the country because they didn't want any kings. I think that protests should have galvanized the public to insist on term limits for those who serve in the Senate and the Congress. That should have been a no kings and queens protest. But instead, what happens? The people in Congress shut down the government, and now they want the Trump administration to open the government. Which is it? Do you want a king or do you not want a king?
Made the announcement in response to a federal judge's order, but the Trump administration says the money will only cover about half of each eligible household's benefits for this month. Unless there's a breakthrough in Congress, this shutdown will break a record on Wednesday for the longest shutdown ever. Now restaurants are stepping up and joining to try to feed people.
I love the fact that these food pantries, churches, restaurants, all hands need to be on deck to make sure that people don't go hungry. But it takes more to run the country than poor people getting food stamps. What about those who are federal workers, those who don't get food stamps? They've got to feed their families as well. So the federal workers who are not qualified for food stamps are not getting paid. They need to feed their family too. So I'm urging all of you to encourage your senators to vote yes. If you have a Republican senator, you know that they've already been voting yes to open the government. We, at this point, need to get on the phone, get on our emails, and push. Is there not at least 5 decent Democrats who are willing to vote yes to open the government? Inquiring minds want to know. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. Comment below if you're so motivated to do so. This is Wonders of a Black Woman. Feed the people. Peace.